down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Hey, you tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show. Man, I'm excited that you think your time is worth hanging out with me for a few minutes. Anyway, I'm glad and honored to be hopefully an authority of love and affection with my words. I would give you a big hug. It's weird. I just decided to start hugging people. I've always been a hugger, but I was like, man, there's this homeboy that just moved into my building, and he's a solid dude, solid entrepreneur, killing it. And we've lost touch for a couple of years because he kind of just done his own thing and has grown. And then he needed some office space. And I was like, yo, come on over here. And he rented a space. And I was like, wow, okay. And then he just texted me and I was like, dude, you're in the building. I could at least just get a hug, and he was texting me that he was life change and things were better, and he referenced David Coggins, and I was like, oh, you're in my network, homie. We need to spend time, especially if we're rendezvousing at the same location. So hopefully you have that type of relationships or friendships that you need to connect with, but you need the physical attachment of sorts, meaning get a hug in. Say you love somebody, and like genuinely say it, like, Octavius, I appreciate you always encouraging me. Ooh. Or Kenny, thanks for just saying, what up, homeboy? Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to say words of affirmation to people. And then sometimes just a physical touch for people works. Just a hug. I'm going to try it this week. If I see you and you look at me, I'm going to give you a hug. That's how it's going to be. That's what I want you to do today, ladies and gentlemen, around the world, August 7th. In the afternoon, go hug somebody, like for real. Like do a side hug. You could do the Christian side hug, but you don't have to get all titties on everybody. But you definitely need to give some affection. There's somebody out there that needs your love today. And who is it gonna be? Let your boy know how it went down. Anyway, let's move on. I was in Florida on vacation. I've been a little distracted. I'm trying to tune in on the Savvy Radio Show. My goal. Now, don't hold me to this, but it's 2 episodes a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But this week, it's Mondays and Fridays. So I'm still going to keep you moving and shaking and just throwing them out there when I can. To help you, ask me questions. It just makes my life much easier to have a perspective to jump on. And so when I get an idea or a theme or a question, I can get rolling. And so what the theme today or the question today was what I learned in Florida. I'm down there trying to do a vacation. And the first thing I do when I get there, I call my realtor that I have down there. I'm like, that's how dumb I am. I'm on vacation and I call the only dude I know in Florida. This area that I go to, it's the Gulf. And I only know one dude. Like I don't have friends there. I just go there and I call, and I'm like, it was just fascinating what I learned of market cycles. I was looking at property just 2 years ago. Stuff has gone up by 30%. I'm like, wow, that's like Oklahoma City. It is so hot and so on fire. And this realtor is trying to sell me stuff. And I asked him for a ride. And I called him up because I'm down here with an RV and I can't park this massive RV anywhere. And I got to park it down at the Walmart for a day so I can move it to another place. I found a place to park it and there's no Ubers down here. And I'm like, why is there no Ubers? That's one thing. And that's another thing I'm going to talk about, opportunities. But anyway, I was desperate. Uber wasn't around. I needed to get some groceries for the children and for my super wife. And so I call homeboy up and he's just telling me all these prices. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, the market's too hot, ladies and gents. Even in Florida, people are going to take a bath here pretty soon. So be ready. But it's funny, on the other side of the coast, there's so many other homeboys killing it in Pensacola. And I'm like, I drove through Pensacola. I looked through that little area. But what I learned, that there's market cycles everywhere. There's a high and a low somewhere. You need to be trained on where they're at. I bet you there's a cycle in your market right now. Where are you in your cycle? Are you at the top? Or are you at the bottom? And cycles could be in different areas in your neighborhood, meaning like your circumference of your city. So that was something that I learned. I was just like kind of dumbfounded. I knew it was a steady market. I got in down there in Florida. I bought and sold in Florida real fast. Right at the beginning of the explosion of overpriced. I thought it was the height, and then it just kept on going. So let's just, in my gauge, let's just say it's 1 out of 10. 10 being the highest of the market. I probably got in about 3, 4 on the ladder, and I got out about 8, 9 on the ladder. And dude, it's 11 right now. Like way, like just like people are on drugs. Like, are you serious? Like a condominium on the beach for $1 million that needs like $30,000 rehab, and it's like a 40-year-old building. For $1 million, homeboy, I can change the world. Think about it. So you don't get overly zealous about the market and where it's going or where it's at right now. You have to keep perspective as a real estate investor or an investor in general. I've got to make money today. And so when this dude was rolling this condo by me, which is so funny because 3 years ago, the same condo was $650. But 2 years later, it's $1 million. And I'm like, and this is how I just cut to the chase. What's the revenue? And the revenue is $75,000 a year. I'm like, dude, like I didn't say this to the realtor because why, because he point blank told me I'll do anything for some commission. And that's the main reason why he gave me a ride. I was like, wow, Steven, you're so cheap. You got to call a realtor to get a ride. Oh, man. But no, I really wanted to connect with that dude just to know the pulse of what's going on. And then he's trying to sell me some property. I'm about buying property. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, are you serious? And then he shows me this condo. And I'm like, okay, what's the revenue? It's $775,000. I mean, that's not even 1%. Like that's just an obvious inflation over the curve. So always know, that's what I learned in Florida. That was my first night, like my first 2 hours when I got to Florida, trying to figure out that you should never drive an RV on 30A, on the freeway called 38 off of 98. If you don't know that area, I need to tell you about it. It's not for this podcast, but it's bomb. And then that happens. And then he shows me another property, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, like one, like kind of seeing the beach for $800. I'm like, it's just interesting. So market cycles are everywhere. That's the point. Number 2, opportunity is everywhere. So I did finally get an Uber ride down there, which is very fascinating. Because I'm kind of off of Panama City Beach. I'm not on the beach there. I'm kind of down the coast a little bit. So it's kind of an excluded little area. It's kind of off the chain. A wonderful friend told me about it. And we just been going there and we enjoyed this place, and there's no Uber. So I finally got a hold of an Uber, and it was this lady. And I got into this truck. She had like a kind of relatively new Toyota Tundra, and driving around with my family. And I'm like, man, it smells nice in here. This is how ignorant I am. I'm like, this smells nice in here. And on her dashboard, this girl had like 6 blocks of soap. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, so she's like, yeah, I sell soap. And I'm like, yeah, I love the entrepreneurial spirit. And I bought some soap, some jasmine. It's in my car right now, lavering up my crib, my house, my car, my truck. And I'm like, wow, $5. So, man, and I had to give the girl a tip just because she's out hustling. And so that's something else I learned. Never stop the hustle. Never stop trying to make money. Not making money to be greedy, making money so you could do more things. And that's what I learned on this vacation too. I was talking to one of my partners, and I was like, I spent more than I normally would spend down here. I actually spent $100 on some family t-shirts. Bam. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Something went on $68 to be exact for 6 t-shirts. And it was like $98 for 6 t-shirts that are all the same for a photo, like family vacation. It's not even customized. I'm like, well, that's what money does. And I'm like, man, I need to make more money so I can enjoy more things and have more experiences. And I'm like, I was talking to my partner, and I'm like, what's the point of living, of working hard and you can't enjoy it? Now, that $100 fulfilled my wife. She's a high eye. She's got to have a photo. I don't like photos. I'm not a big fan. But she likes photos, and she likes to be Twinkies with everybody. And I'm like, it's so cute. So, and I had to take it up one more level because that's just what we do. And I was like, so my boy and I, we went to Walmart and we got Twinkie shirts. And I put it on Instagram. So you got to have experiences, right? So I went down there, looked at some property. My wife didn't know. I was on my way to Walmart, and I was at Walmart for 2 hours, but I went to Walmart, got a free ride. And I worked for opportunity. And so isn't that fascinating? Opportunities are everywhere. You're just not looking at them. And even that market cycle down there in Florida is hot, I still think there's opportunity there. There's someone that got a trust, has a probate, or has some kind of deal. So then I roll over after I figure out this RV deal, which anyway, if anybody is an RV lover, let me know. We're just now dipping into RV, and oh my goodness, I can have a whole episode of how I failed with my RV, broke a door, like my water heater stank because I left the water. I mean, there's a million things. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's kind of interesting and at the same time frustrating. And one of those frustrating things is parking this bad boy. Where do I park this thing? And so I'm calling another opportunity. No one answers their phone. That's one thing. I'm telling you, like, there's so much entrepreneur on the beach, so many ways to make money on the beach. I just, around the beach, around tourism, it's just, I'm telling you, I'm willing to pay concierge service just for someone to help me down here. I need more friends in Florida, but I finally got a hold. So I'm like, I got to park this RV, Shanae, and I got to figure this out. We can't park it where we're staying. I got to find a place. And so I called several, storage places, and no one answers. People not open on the weekend. I'm trapped down here. I finally start calling them, and no, we don't do that, or no, we don't have room, or one girl, yeah, we park RVs, it's $300 a month. I'm like, damn, are you serious? I'm like, I'm in the wrong business for real. Like this RV deal, of course, growing up broke, who owns an RV? And I'm like, then you got to park this thing. So then I'm like calling finally I called, I'm just calling the closest people to me, and I keep going further away because I knew I'm trapped because I don't have an Uber as convenient. I'd have to bike to the RV. And this is how ghetto I am. So I finally get a hold of this storage place. And I call this, the lady answers, I go, I need to park this. And she's like, you need to call this dude. And so she gave me this dude's cell phone number. I'm like, aha, I got somebody's cell phone number. So I call this dude up. I'm like, hey, my name's Steven. I got an RV. I'm going to be here for a few days. Can I park it on your deal? And he's like, yeah, $40 to $50. And I'm like, with the call before that, it was $300. And he said 40 to 50. Now, of course, my flesh is about the 40. But I was like, got it. 50. I'm on my way. When do you close? 3 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. So I stroll down there. And I get to the worst storage place down there. I mean, this deal was built 30 years ago. It's rusted everywhere. I'm like, it's sketchalicious. But I'm like, I have faith, and I have insurance, and I need to park this deal because I'm having problems. And so I started loving on this dude. I'm like, do you work here? At the end, I'm kind of part of the family. I'm like, I want to buy this storage unit. Let's make this happen. And what was interesting, the thing makes $8,000 a month. that has 100 and something units, completely rented out, and it grosses $8,000 a month. And so the dude that I'm talking to just lost his job. He's been working there for 3 years. He knows the family. I'm like, dude, how did this place get run down? Well, the owners always say they want to fix it up, but they say they do it. They'll do it this blank, and they never do it. I'm like, well, why would they? I'm like, think about it. If something's making them money and they don't need to put more money in there, why would you do that? Unless you're going to raise the rent, right? Hey. So he's like, yeah. I was like, why don't you buy it? That's what I told him. I'm like, I need to mail this dude my book. And I was like, why don't you buy it? And I was like, think about it. You know these people for 3 years. They just want to make $7,000 a month. Well, we know that it's under rented, and we could easily raise the rents by 10%. So we could easily increase the gross revenue by at least $100 or $1,000. And we can do a comparable. We could put some money in. So in my mind, so quickie calculation, he says that the storage unit's worth $1 million. I was like, man, in this condition, it's worth $350 in my world. So won't you offer them to carry the note? Maybe 500 or ask 350. Just say 500, or just say, what if I gave you $7,000 a month and I'll take it over? I guarantee that you get $7,000 a month. You will maintain the property. You will upgrade the property. You put money in the property, and they just disappear, and you write them a check for $7,000 every month. The dude's eyes lit up. And then, of course, he shut me down. I can't do that. I don't, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, listen, let me break it down for you, homie. How much do they pay right now? You get paid $2,000 a month to work this deal. Yeah. If you raise it up 1,000, so your gross is 8, you bring it up to 9. Can you live off of 2,000 like you were? Yes. And you could put the extra cheddar in fixing it up, or you could just paint this damn thing. If you paint this thing and maybe spend a couple $1,000s on some new guttering, I mean, I'd probably say 5 to 10, and you can probably borrow that money or go get it under contract, get it owner finance, and then refinance, and it's probably worth $1.5 million. And the guy looked at me like a deer in the headlights. I'm like, opportunity is everywhere. These people have owned it forever. They built it, and they're at the 30-year life cycle. I promise you, I should just buy this damn thing. I should just figure it out and say, look, yo, let's do this together 50-50. If I just educate this dude, communicated, I said, you have the continuity. They trust you. You've known them for 3 years. You've been managing the property. And the sad thing, the wild thing, the guy has a condo down there, and he's renting the condo out, and he's like crashing at the storage unit. Fascinating. So this guy's willing to sacrifice to make a few $100s, but he's not willing to sacrifice to learn how to do a creative deal. Is that society or what? Is that society? You're willing to not sleep at your crib, leave your clothes behind so you can make a couple extra $500 for the week to rent out a condo in Florida or whatever? A little arbitrage, a little Airbnb on the hustle on the side, a little extended stay, because it's easy. See, because Airbnb makes it easy. That's why they're $1 billion company. But see, if you want to be wealthy, you're going to have to learn new things that you've never learned before. I always wondered, how did I get here? How did I get on the radio show? I've learned things that other people haven't learned. I've learned how to do a podcast. Came out of the womb, learned to do a podcast. I didn't come out of the womb. Nobody in school taught me how to buy cribs with no money down with owner finance or private money. No. Anyway, this is a great opportunity. I have a course out on private money. I've never talked about it. We've actually been testing it out, and someone actually bought the course last week and said it works. He raised a couple $100,000, and I'm like, wow. And my dumminess, I spent 20 hours producing this 8-hour course or longer, and I don't even, someone told me the other day, we can't even find it on your website. Like, And it's on my website. So go to the savvypodcast.com, click on store. It's the first thing you see. If you have any interest in private money at all, and it comes with coaching. So if you buy it, you get coaching with it. It's $1,000. It'll be worth your time and effort. That's a sales plug. I'm selling out. Oh no. And then the final thing is, I was staying on this house down there, and my next door neighbor, I connected with him, and I'm like, opportunity. This dude, Kansas City, 44 employees, multi-million-dollar tech company, builds apps and does all kinds of crazy things, loves the Lord. And I was like, man, how does this work? Opportunity, right? I'm at this successful beach area. Every time I come down here, I meet some baller person that has the right mindset. We're like-minded. Not only that we're like-minded that we love Jesus, we're like-minded about business. And just hearing him talk about where he came from and 10 years later and how he treats his staff, and it's just, and never knew that it would turn into a tech company. And I was like, man, I can learn so much. So my family connected with his family, my wife connected with his wife, and I was like, I need better friends. I need to hang out with people that are going places, that want to go to the next level. You need to do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, go on vacation and just be available. Seek the opportunity and just let it develop. The interesting thing is, when I met this guy the first time, it didn't go well. Like, I was like, yeah, he's kind of a nerd. And I was like, and I'm not saying I'm a super nerd. People don't know it. I used to program computers as a young child. Maybe I'll share that testimony sometime, but I used to program in BASIC and Pascal. And then in college, I learned a little COBOL, and then I dropped out. But I didn't really, I saw him. He was a really nice guy, but he was kind of busy. He was like messing around with his kayak and stuff. And I was like, or water thing. And I was like, all right, and then the last 3 days, man, I probably spent about 20 hours just kicking it with this dude. And it was just so refreshing to hear someone else have goals and dreams and have visions, and where they're going to take their company and the clients that they have, and what are they needing. And like, these companies that he was talking about were just phenomenal, of like their interest in technology and the future of technology, and this new app that he's creating, and just this gnarly stuff. I was just enthralled in his passion for his family and in their health and what do they want to do. And I was like, man, I got to upgrade. It's time to upgrade. What are you going to upgrade in your life? Pick something in your life right now. Is it your health? Is it your bank account? Go upgrade and go buy assets.
What is the Savvy Bootcamp? Are you struggling to get to the next level as a business owner? As an investor? Do you want to multiply your income? Sign up for the Savvy Bootcamp, a strategic and supercharged one-night and one-day event designed to shortcut your learning process and propel you forward. Just value, no upsells, and an intimate setting to build relationships with like-minded investors. We will be covering how personality profiling can make you a millionaire, outsourcing and the nitty-gritty of maximizing your property management, scaling your business through systems and automation, technology hacks you should be using every day, and how to raise private money. Go to www.savvybootcamp.com now to register or to find out more.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.